Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and then come into good cross leg position. Let's have a little wriggle about, just make sure you're feeling evenly placed, evenly positioned with the levelness of the seat bones. Just hold onto your knees and elevate the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Just look down at the floor, look at something that's not moving. Keeping your eyes still in the sockets. Just listen to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. And then release your hands, bring them into Namaste. Just close your eyes, keeping your eyes still in the sockets, and then just focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. So focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations. Filling the lungs all the way to the top. And as long as there's no reason that should stop you from holding your breath, at the top of the in-breath, just gently hold the breath for a moment or two, just for a second or two. Just allowing the body to benefit from the energy that you inhale. Just focusing on breathing evenly into both lungs, from the bottom to the top. Breathing evenly out of both lungs, from the top to the bottom. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest, lift your chest up to meet your chin. Spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. And then as you raise your head, just allow your eyes to softly open. Just hold on to your knees and lift up into the chest, elevating your heart area up to the ceiling. Just again, just readjust if you feel uneven. Take a deep inhalation, and then with the following exhalation, turn to the right side. Just observing where there is resistance. Keep filling the lungs from the top to the bottom. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest, elevating your heart area up to the ceiling. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then with an exhalation, turn to the left, drawing your abdomen across. Just observe how you begin to wake up your energy as you turn. Using your out breath to just intensify that turn a little. And then gently come back to the center. Just hold onto your knees and elevate your heart area upwards. Softening your jaw and your tongue and your throat. Just observe your breath as it enters. Just filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Feel the back chest expand as well as the front chest. As the front chest rises upwards and outwards to accommodate the in-breath. And the chest lowers and relaxes with the out-breath. Just become conscious of that action, but try and breathe into the back chest as well as the front chest. Aim to breathe evenly into both lungs. And then just come off your lift, just sit back on your heels for a moment or two. So if you have your knees wide apart, wide enough apart to bring your chest through when you come into Adho Mukha Virasana. Just have the big toes together. Just feel that you can just sit into your shins. So if you've been on long walks, then Virasana is a really good pose for just refreshing the energy of your legs. So just sitting back on your heels, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Try to breathe into both lungs evenly. Try to allow the back chest to expand as well as the front chest. Consciously press the shins into the floor so that the thighs activate, shin bones into the shin skin. Lift up into the chest and then come forwards, stretching forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. Sitting back on the heels, lengthening the spine along the floor, spreading the fingers, spreading the palms. Again, aiming to breathe into the back chest as well as the front chest. Breathing into both lungs evenly, breathing out of both lungs evenly. So allowing the body to accommodate the breath, expanding for the in-breath, contracting for the out-breath. And then come up onto your knees. Have your feet as wide apart as the mat, and then come up into dog down. Fill your lungs from the front to the back, from the bottom to the top. Empty your lungs evenly from the top to the bottom. Just spend a little time in the pose, just allowing the body to initiate into action. So acknowledging where there is resistance, acknowledging where there is freedom, acknowledging how your body feels today in comparison with how it feels on a typical day. So no longer holding the breath. If you are still doing that, don't do that anymore, just normal breathing. Filling the body with breath, the vital energy of inhalation and exhalation. And then spread that energy throughout the limbs. Step your feet forwards, just come up into a standing position. And then have a couple of blocks for your hands if you've got, especially if you've got a stiff back. So you can do full uttanasana if you don't have a stiff back, but if you've got a stiff back, then just stick with the blocks. Have your feet as wide apart as the mat, hitting the heels out, turning the toes inwards, so that the outside edge of your foot lines up with the edge of the mat. Tighten your kneecaps, lift up into your chest, squeezing your elbows together, and then hinge at the hips, keeping the chest lifted as you reach down and find the blocks underneath the backs of the hand. Just go back to the breath, just filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, breathing into the back chest as much as the front chest. In this pose, we tend to push the shoulder blade forwards, but still give it space to breathe into the shoulder blade region. So it's very energizing, breathing into the back chest. Bring the energy of that breath into the legs, activating the kneecaps and the thighs and the seat bones, projecting the chin and the chest forwards. So I'm not giving you lots of instructions, I just want you to really focus on activating as you would do normally, but with a focus on the breath. On filling the body with energy through the breath. Feeling how the legs are working and observing which side of the body is activating more willingly, and then get the less willing side to activate accordingly. So it's a mirror image of effort. If you can go down lower, then do, but if you've got any back problems, then go down with caution. Just stay at the top. Lift if you feel like that is where you're going to be best. Lift the seat bones, lift the chest. Remember, be on fingertips. It's an extending action. If you go onto the heels of the hands, it's a collapsing action. Okay, bring your hands into your hips, bend your knees on the way up if you need to, and then come up into Tadasana. Just observe your energy as you stand in Tadasana, inner edge of the feet together. Activating your legs in Tadasana, tucking the tailbone in, lifting the bladder region up to the diaphragm, lifting up into the chest. Turn the palms all the way out. Again, breathing into the back chest as much as the front chest. Spread in the fingers, spread in the palms. Just feel that you're charging up the body with energy. Just feeling how your feet connect to the ground. Try and stand on the center of the heel. And then stretch your arms out in front, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way up, and then come into baddangulyasana. Breathing into the back chest as well as the front. Release your arms, swap the interlock of your fingers, turn palms all the way out, raise your arms over your head. And then release your arms down, just come back up into Tadasana, lifting up into the chest. Just feel the warmth in the palms of the hands, the openness of the chest. Just continuing to breathe, even deep inhalations and exhalations. Just get yourself a belt and then put the belt over your right shoulder. And then come back into Tadasana. Stretch your left arm forwards, really spread into each individual finger. Do the same with the other hand. activating those legs in Tadasana. So I'm not giving you specific instructions on how to activate your legs. We've done that many times, so just do what you remember. It's the intelligence of the body, rather than being told all the time. Go back to what we have trained the body to do. Turn the palm of that left hand all the way out, reach behind you. Keep the arm high, keep rotating that upper arm in the socket, and then at the last minute, assist the hand up the back. Try and get your hand to reach up towards the neck. And then reach up with the top hand, gomhukhasana, the head of the cow. Take a deep inhalation on an out breath. Reach down, see if you can take hold with your hands. If you can't, then just get hold of the belt. Just see if you can get hold of the hands or the belt. And then at first that might make you do some kind of odd things with positioning. So once you've got hold of the hands, then reset the legs, reset your Tadasana. Reincorporate your Tadasana. Continuing to breathe into the front and the back of the lungs as you inhale and exhale. As you've been there for a little while, creep the hands a little closer together perhaps. Try and prise the elbows apart, bottom elbow to the floor, top elbow up to the ceiling. Fill in the lungs with positive energy. Be receptive to the energy of the breath. And then release the top arm. Just gently release the bottom arm, just maybe drop the chest to facilitate that lift up into the chest. Put the belt over to the other shoulder. So even if you didn't need it on one side, maybe you might on the other. Turn the palms all the way out, rotating the upper arms in the sockets. Just reset your Tadasana. Just feel where your Tadasana is not effective. And adjust it. Finding that lightness on the inside. Stretch your right hand forward, really spread into the fingers, turn the palm all the way out. Rotate the upper arm in the socket as you reach behind you, and then again assist that arm up your back, and then reach up, just stretch out of the previous pose. And then reach down, see if you can take hold. So maybe one side is a little stiffer than the other. So this is typically my stiffer side. So I'm just going to start off with the belt. Everything feels a little stiff this morning, so just allow that to happen. Be accommodating to your body's present moment. Just maybe if you're using the belt, creep the hands a little bit closer together, just incrementally. Just being in your Tadasana. Observe that maybe as you creep the hands a little closer together each time you disturb your Tadasana. So reset it. release that top arm, release the bottom arm, and then spread the palms, lift up into the chest. Turn the palms all the way out, raise your chest. Just continuing to breathe evenly into both lungs. Just release the belt, just move the blocks if they are still there from uttanasana, and then come up into tadasana again, lift up into the chest, energizing the body through the breath. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide. Your hands on your hips, lift up into the chest, turn the palms all the way out. So turn the right leg and foot out, turn the right leg and foot all the way out. Turn the left toes in slightly. Just bring the chest to face the front, stretch your arms out. Really activate those legs, and then reach down, find the shin, look up. Just feel that you can inhale into the front and the back of the lungs. Just feel where your body is today. And fill your body with energy. Energy from the breath. Come back to the centre, keep your arms outstretched, swap your feet around. And then come over to the other side. So I'm not giving you very many instructions purposely, because we're engaging hopefully with the breath and with the intelligence of the body. The body recognises where the pose feels right and wrong, and can address how to action the body where the action feels wrong or where the action feels absent. So it's always worth looking down, just making sure that your chest is lifted enough so that your head is over your foot. And then come back to the centre, bring your feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together, and then come up into Tadasana. Just remain in Tadasana. Just feel that your energy maintains itself from the breath. Just feel that the breath resets your energy. Consciously breathing into the back chest. come down onto your knees. Have your hands as wide apart as your shoulders. Step back. Have your feet hip width apart. And then come back up into dog down. Svanasana. Just finding your way into the physical body through the breath. Observe how your body feels now in comparison with how it felt at the beginning. Maybe it's full of energy a little more. Maybe there's more lightness than heaviness. That lightness comes from the radiating of the bones into the muscles, into the organs and the flesh and the skin. Just breathing into the back chest as much as the front chest, into the side ribs. Just allowing the body to accommodate the breath. The more non-resistant the breath, the more energy the body will absorb from each inhalation. Okay, come down onto your knees and then sit back on your heels. Just observe your energy. Observe how your energy has changed from the beginning of the session to this feeling of almost effervescent energy fizzing in the bones into the blood, bringing a feeling of lightness and broadness and expansion, almost making the skin tingle, tingling with consciousness. So that energy comes from the breath, but it also comes from the extension as we extend and then we fill the body with the energy of the breath. So we're going to do a little bit of pranayama. I want you to have a bolster for your back if you can. Have a block, one like kind of laying on its side, one on its higher end, and then just going to have the bolster on a little ramp like this. So you just give yourself this little ramp and then folded blanket at the head end just to help you to release the head. So we're going to come into supta baddangulyasana. So you sit close to the end of the bolster. So if you haven't got those extra blocks, you can just have the bolster flat along the floor. So lift the chest, pull the feet into the body, push the feet together, lift up into the chest, and then lengthen the spine along the bolster, and then just position the blanket underneath your head. And then just rest your hands on the floor to the side of you with the palms facing upwards, connecting the tip of the index finger with the thumb. So just spend a few moments breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, filling the lungs. Just filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, from the front to the back, and into the armpit chest. Just feeling how that expansion of the chest brings in energy to the physical body. So without over labouring the breath, just allowing the breath to be. So sitting in baddangulyasana in this way is good for a stiff back. Just let the body relax into the position. Keep lifting the chest, keep expanding and contracting the chest with the breath. Just let any areas of your back that feel discomfort, just let those areas consciously relax. Just filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Allowing the air in the lungs to expand into the armpit chest, to expand into the back chest, to expand into the front chest. So just focus on expanding the lungs. Taking long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. So not doing anything particularly challenging with the breath, just allowing the body to accommodate the breath. It becomes transformative for your energy. Okay, when you're ready, just push your hands into the floor, lift the chest, try and keep the head lifted as you come up. Just get hold of the big toes and roll onto the front edge of the seat bones into baddangulyasana. Just observing your energy. And then just stretch out your legs, just straighten your legs out in front. And then just come back onto your knees. Just move the bolsters from underneath, move the blocks from underneath your bolster or your lift. And then we're going to finish in the restorative surfboard pose. So have a blanket on top of your block, have a block for your head, have the bolster far enough away so that your head is going to fit between the end of the bolster and the block. And then if you've got something handy like a rolled up blanket, have a little mini bolster for underneath your shins. So just come down onto your front, just lengthening yourself out along the bolster. Have your head free of the end of the bolster, and then just rest your forehead down onto the block and the blanket. And then just release yourself down into the bolster. Again, this is really nice for relieving the stiff back. And in this restorative surfboard pose, I want you to breathe into the back. It's the first breath. You breathe into the shoulder blade region and out into the armpits. And a normal exhalation. And then the second breath, you breathe into the middle of the back and out into the lower ribs. And then a normal exhalation. And then the third breath, you breathe down into the sacrum area of your back, right down at the bottom of your back, just above the tailbone, and out into the hips. And then a normal exhalation. So cycle around those three breaths, the top of the back, the middle of the back, and the lower back. So the sequence that we have been doing today is about gleaning energy from the breath, about waking up perhaps a reluctant body. continuing to cycle around those 3 breaths. Just feeling how the physical body perhaps feels a little lighter on the inside. Perhaps it was feeling heavier at the beginning. And then bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Normal in breaths, normal out breaths. And then push your hands into the floor, just push yourself up into a seated position, just sitting back on your heels for a moment, just observing the lightness of your energy. And then just sit yourself back onto your bolster, just come into a cross-leg position. Just cross legs with your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Just take some deep inhalations down into the abdominal region. Be conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice this morning, that good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin down to meet your chest. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. Positive energy radiating through the bones and into the muscles and into the organs and the flesh and the skin. Just send some of that positive energy out into the world. Gently release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger with the tip of the thumb. Just a gesture of wisdom and peacefulness. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. So hopefully we have just lifted your energy, given yourself some good positive energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.